my name is Yoo Jin Song and I'm currently a freshman at Yangjae Highschool. Before starting, I would like to ask you a simple basic question. Do you guys know who you are? Do you know yourself? I think this question pretty much shortens what I want to tell you today. So I think that the most frequently asked question throughout our lives is this. Who am I? What kind of person am I? What is my self-identity? And I think that this question can be answered throughout discovering me, my true self-identity. During our journey, my journey, which I define journey as my life. So now you guys know my name, but you do not know my story. And I especially want to emphasize the importance of story in this TED Talk. And the reason is because, in a general point of view, I regard life as a very long story that is still ongoing. And in order to answer you guys to the question, do I know myself, I think that it's crucial for me to tell my story because our story and our life is indeed what makes our self-identity. I think that the key solution to finding the answer to this question, do you know yourself, is firstly becoming a dream chaser. To find your dreams and following it. So I became a dream chaser when I became a middle school student, and from that point on, I have been continuously working hard in order to become closer to my dream and to become one step closer to my dream. And I think that in the process of becoming a dream chaser and chasing your dreams, you'll be able to find your true self-identity, your personality, what you're good at, your passion, your preference, and etc. The second key solution to finding the answer to this question is this keyword challenge. So I think that by challenging, you will be able to find your true self. By challenging what you're good at, what you're bad at, what you're afraid of, what you might have potential at. And so I think that becoming a dream chaser and also challenging yourself are the key solutions to finding the answer and to find yourself, your true self-identity. So right now, I can't 100% guarantee that I fully know myself and I've completely known my self-identity. But if I could express myself currently in one word, I would definitely choose the word chameleon. Because the key characteristic of a chameleon is that it has a lot of various colors and it can change its colors. And so I think that I'm a person who has a lot of passion, a lot of features, a lot of characteristics, and a lot of uniqueness. And I think that these uniqueness can be compared to the chameleon's various colors. So my first self-identity is closely related to English. I think that English takes and will take a very big part of my life. So ever since I was young, even though I've never been to an English-speaking country before, I was exposed to English a lot because I like to listen to English cassette tapes, videotapes, see movies, and sing along English songs. And since I attended an English kindergarten, I was able to perceive English in a more natural manner. And for that reason, I was able to recognize English not as an academic scholastic subject, but rather as a tool for me to have fun and also like an old friend. And as years passed on, I began to learn English in a more academic way. But my thought about English didn't change. I still regard English as a tool for me to have fun, as my best friend, and also my life's companion, because my dream is closely related to English. And thanks to English, I was able to find a lot of self-identities of mine, and I was also able to find my true passion. One self-identity that I was able to find thanks to English was me as a public speaker. So I think that I'm very different off stage and on stage. When I'm off stage, I'm just like any other people. I get butterflies in my stomachs, I get goosebumps on my arms whenever I have to perform or make a speech in front of a big audience. However, the difference happens when I step on stage. When I step on stage, I become the most confident and most excited person in the whole entire world. Some people hesitate or do not like public speaking because of the anxiety, but I basically regard this anxiety as a very good excitement and thrill. And I think that it's a very precious experience for me to grab the attention of the audience while I'm performing or speaking. I mean, let's face it, how many times in our lives will we have the chance to grab 500 people's attention for 5 to 10 minutes? And so for this reason, and thanks to English, I was able to find my first self-identity, which is me as a public speaker. And even though I have some academic interests such as English and public speaking, I also have another self-identity related to entertainment. I regard myself as an entertainer. Ever since I was young, I was really interested in singing and dancing. When I look over my childhood videos, I can often see myself dancing and singing along songs and performing in musicals, such as starring in my kindergarten musical Little Mermaid and starring as Sandy Olsen in the musical Grease in my kindergarten graduation play. And until nowadays, I'm really interested in singing and dancing. Whenever I have time or whenever I'm stressed, I just turn on the music, sing along, go to the karaoke with my family or my friends, or just turn on the latest K-pop dance video and follow the dance. And it makes me really happy and I'm able to relieve my stress. And so, this is a picture of me performing at my school talent show when we went to our school camp last year. And since I have a lot of passion to singing and dancing, I regard myself as an entertainer, which is my second self-identity. And my third self-identity is closely related to my dream. So when I was finding my future occupation and my career, I was able to find an occupation that I could use my two most favorite things, which was English and public speaking. And that was to become an international spokesperson and a global broadcaster just like Oprah Winfrey and Teresa Ra, the 2018 Pyeongchang PT presenter. And after finding and chasing my dream, I began to participate in various activities that were closely related to my dream. And one of those was the Model United Nations MUN conferences, which takes a big part of the past several years of my life. So I first participated as a delegate representing a certain country and debating global issues with other students. Then my passion towards MUN grew, and then I participated as a student officer chairing a conference, and then I'm currently participating as a secretariat of a Model United Nations conference. And thanks to this self-identity of mine, I was also able to find another precious dream, which is to become an international organization worker. Since I have a big interest in global issues, especially in human rights, I wish to someday work in the United Nations or organizations such as Save the Children, UNICEF, Amnesty International, and etc. So that's my third and fourth self-identity. So last but not least, this is related to my personality, but my final self-identity that I found until now is me as an optimist. So whenever I get a question, introduce yourself, I always describe myself as a very positive and energetic person. My friends even ask me what I eat for breakfast because even in the tiring morning, I'm always full of energy. So I think that me as an optimist has really helped me live a happy life, because whenever I face obstacles or dilemmas in my life, rather than just surrendering or being devastated, I always think of situations in a positive manner, and that really helps me solve the situation in a more practical way. And so I think that becoming an optimist and being optimistic and positive is a very big uniqueness of mine that is very different and distinct from other people. So that's my fifth self-identity. So in conclusion, what I basically want to tell you today by this speech is that your life is just like a puzzle. And what I want to really tell you guys, the theme of my speech, I think it can be symbolized to this picture. So in this picture, there are a lot of puzzle pieces, but one puzzle is missing. And I think that these matched puzzle pieces are all the components that make up your self-identity. But I especially think that the one last piece is very important and pivotal, because the one last piece basically determines what kind of person you'll be and what your self-identity will become. And I think that this last piece can never be decided by another person. It can only be decided by you, by your passion, your effort. I think that if we have dream, passion, and challenge, you'll be able to find true joy during this process. And by this process, by having passion, challenging yourself, by having hope, by putting a lot of effort in it, I believe that you'll be able to find the best suited number one last puzzle piece of your life, which will make up yourself. Thank you.